on the weekly quiz. So look over your relevant course materials for that topic for that week. They're going to be 5 weeks. And then go ahead and do the pre-lab quiz, which is worth 4 points. It's 4 questions worth 4 points. And these are basically just checking that you reviewed the pre-work. They're not going to be so in depth, in terms of what your the questions will look like. So you don't necessarily have to study the entire module, but you do want to be familiar with the general structures that are going to be presented, and then just some general functions of those structures as well. So they're going to be kind of just fact questions that check that you reviewed that material. And then on Tuesday, we'll have class at 8 a.m. for 1 hour, 8 to 9. And then your pre-lab quiz will be due before class. So for today's lab, I have extended that to the end of today, just because we are starting. I know some of you got into the course a bit late and were not able to complete the pre-lab, so I've extended that to the end of today. But typically going forward, you'll be expected to conduct that quiz before we come to class. All right, classes will be recorded. So I know a few of you have reached out to me if you need to miss class, if you have jobs that your schedules are conflicting. The labs will be recorded and I will share those in Brightspace the day of. Now you'll have a weekly quiz. This will be much more of an in-depth quiz to test your knowledge on the material, and you'll have a week to study that after class. So after we present today's material, you'll have a full week, and then you'll have a quiz due next Monday at 8 a.m. Okay, and then you'll also have your relevant materials for next week's topic as well. Okay, now there'll be a cumulative practical. So this is familiar from before. The cumulative practical is worth 90 points. So it's going to be a large chunk of your grade, 45% of your grade, whereas the pre-lab quizzes are 20 points, 10% of your grade. And then the weekly quizzes, those more in-depth quizzes, are 18 points each. And those will be about 45% of your grade. Now, as far as the weekly quizzes go, they're going to be in multiple choice and fill in the blank format. So some questions you'll be given a structure and asked to actually write that out. And so what I've seen in the past is sometimes you'll be off 1 or 2 characters. So let's say you're trying to spell the sclera and you flip-flop the C and the L, for example. I will typically accept that as a correct answer. So what I have to do is I have to go back after your quiz and adjust for any minor spelling errors and update those points. So that will typically happen after the quiz deadline closes. Okay, so just watch out for that. You may actually have a higher score than what you see at the end after you submit. All right, so that's kind of what I explained here. 9 multiple choice questions, 9 fill in the blanks, and then only structures that are on that structure list are what I use to focus in on testing for the quiz. Here are the structures, or topics that we're going to be covering, or regions of the body. We'll start with the head and look at the sensory structures, eyes, ears, etc. And then we'll move on into the neck and talk about some of the respiratory structures. Then we'll kind of take that path down into the heart, some of the major blood vessels, etc. And then the abdomen, and then the pelvis and reproductive and urinary structures. Okay. Your course references are pretty much the same from AMP1, your course atlas, any lecture slides that I share, as well as that structure list, right? Those are going to be your go-to resources. And then office hours are by Zoom. You'll have to reach out to me to schedule office hours, and it's okay to do that on the same day in terms of your availability.